Hey buddy, welcome to Datatastic. I'm Paul, and in today's video I'm going to show you how you can use the binomial distribution in R. So let's jump right in. First off, let's talk about how we can use the binomial distribution to generate random values. R offers us the R-binom function. It stands for random binomial, and to use this function you have to pass three parameters. First of all, you pass the number of random values you want to generate, in this case 10. Next, you have to pass the number of trials, of binomial trials that you want to perform in your experiment, and then the probability of success, which I've just set to 0.5 or 50%. And if we run those two lines of code, you can see down here we've got these random numbers, and this basically means we did 10 experiments. In each experiment we did 20 trials, and these are the number of successes. So because we do 20 trials and we have a 50% chance of success, you can see that quite a few values are around 10, which is what we would expect, but we also got some outliers. Next, we can use the probability mass function of the binomial distribution. To do so, we are going to use the d-binom function, and this function calculates the probability that we get a specific number of successes in an experiment with a fixed number of trials and a fixed probability of success. So in this case, we calculate the probability of having 3 successes when we do 10 trials with a 50% chance of success. And if we run those two lines, you can see we have a probability of about 11.7%. And later on, down here, we are also going to visualize the mass function as well as the CDF, which I'm going to talk about right now. So to compute the CDF, we can use the p-binom function. So when we use the p-binom function, we again have to specify a number of trials and a probability of success. And we again ask for 3 successes in this experiment, just as we did above. But this time we calculate the cumulative distribution. So in other words, we want to know the probability of getting 3 successes or less. So we also calculate the probability of 0, 1, 2, and 3 successes. So we can run those two lines, and we get a cumulative probability of 17.1% or 17.2. Okay, so let's talk about visualizing the binomial distribution. First off, let's create a vector with random values between 0 and 10. And now we can go ahead and start off with the probability mass function. So we are not just going to calculate one probability, but this time we again have an experiment with 10 trials, 50% chance of success. But this time we want to know the probability of getting x successes, and x is a value between 0 and 10, or not just one, but all the values between 0 and 10. And so if we run this line, and also let's just look at the variable probabilities, you can see we've got the probabilities for all possible outcomes between 0 and 10. And so that's exactly what we want to plot. So we are going to create a bar plot. We pass probabilities, our variable, and then names.arc equals x. So these are the values on the x-axis. And we also add a description for the y and x axis, so a label, and we set the color to green. So let's just look at that. So that's the probability mass function for the binomial distribution. we have a probability and the success in 10 games or trials or experiments. And because we have a 50% chance of success, you can see the peak of the distribution is at the x value of 5. So that's the probability mass function. Let's also look at the CDF, the cumulative distribution function. So I've created another variable, probabilities 2. And now we are going to use the p-binom function. And again, we pass the value x, or the variable x, which basically means the numbers between 0 and 10. And again, we have 10 trials and a 50% chance of success. And if we run this line of code and we also print the probabilities, you can see it's the cumulative distribution and they all end up with 1 at the end. So we can go ahead and create another bar plot. We again pass all the probabilities. We set the values on the x-axis to our vector x. And we add some labels for the y and x axis and set the color to green. And there we go. That's the cumulative distribution function of the binomial distribution. And that's how you work with the binomial distribution in R. So that's fairly easy. I hope you've learned something new. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye.